What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Finger Wag Podcast. I'm your host, Gideon Hertz, and happy Finger Wag Fridays to all those who celebrate. Quick one for you today. We are officially 10 days from the season opener on November 3rd against Morgan State. We're excited for that. We've got the Kentucky scrimmage coming up. This is officially the last Finger Wag Friday before we will have real basketball to talk about, but still plenty to get to here. Just a quick rundown of the week past as well as the upcoming weekend. Give you a quick rundown here. First off, if you are not following us on Twitter/X, you definitely should do that at the Finger Wag Hoyas. If you are following us, you'll see up there that we've got a quick rundown of passing highlights from Malik Mack at the GW game. Shout out Jake for pulling that together for us and sharing that. I think, as Jake mentioned on the podcast, as he's mentioned a lot, looks like the GW game was really encouraging for Malik Mack. Sort of digesting it, watching highlights again, could not agree more. Malik Mack remains kind of one of the biggest takeaways I have from that game. It's one game, it's against GW, but really, really encouraging to see him kind of put it all together. The passing really stands out. You could see he was really efficient in that game, but the playmaking, ball handling, the poise, the passing was really, really effective in that game. We had Big East Media Day earlier this week. Obviously, a lot of coverage coming out of that, along with the Big East coaches' predictions and preseason poll. Georgetown to finish 6th from that, though take that with a grain of salt, as several coaches, I think, mentioned they don't take preseason polls very seriously. Dan Hurley mentioned he doesn't even do it. Sure, why would you care when you don't have to, I guess? I don't know. Weird flex to be like, I don't care about the preseason poll and don't even do it. We know it's not gospel or anything, but, take 10 minutes. Give us your thoughts. Who knows? We also had Georgetown Media Day. Fingerwag was unable to make it to that. Unfortunately, our real jobs got in the way. But there's a lot of coverage coming out of that. I will link to in the show notes some of the great coverage of that, particularly Ed Cooley's press conference, courtesy of Marcus Washington and MTC Media. Shout out to him. I'll link to that in the show notes so that you can watch that. Lots of good stuff coming out of there. And then this weekend, Saturday, we've got the open practice, and now calling it the Blue and Gray scrimmage at McDonough. That'll be at noon, again, on campus at McDonough. That is open to the public and hope to see everybody there. The Finger Wag will be there. We'll be covering that. We'll have updates and coverage from that. If you're attending, and we encourage you to come say, hey, we'll be there. Likely sitting at the media table or whatever, bopping around. Come say hello, share your thoughts, let us know what you think. I'll be there and look forward to seeing a good turnout from the Hoyas at that. Next Thursday, obviously, we've got the scrimmage versus Kentucky, and this is really shaping up, I think, to be an important look for Georgetown, though, as we've been cautioning, I wouldn't take too much from it if they end up getting run. I mean, I think that's certainly a possibility, even with Kentucky's injuries. They're going to be missing, I think, Jalen Lowe and Jaden Quaintance, two of their kind of starting guard and starting center. I think they're likely to sit this one out, but Kentucky is looking really good. They are coming up in, top 5s in all of the preseason polls, all the preseason rankings. We got the report that they spent $22 million on their roster this year, which you can take that or leave it. I tend to think it's pretty accurate given the guys that they brought in. They are a really, really good and deep team. Mark Pope's a good coach, and they've got a kid, Otega Owe, who is top 20 player in the country, potentially higher than that, might be an All-American candidate. A guy who I'm really excited to see, KJ Lewis, spend a good deal of time on defensively. And I think this is just a really good measuring stick, even in a scrimmage, even if it doesn't go the Hoyas' way, even if they get blown out. I wouldn't necessarily get too down on it. You're going to see what Georgetown looks like against a legit top 10 team that has upper echelon athleticism, upper echelon skill. It's going to be a really, really good opportunity for them. Speaking of, if you are a super degenerate and want to scout the scrimmage, because why wouldn't you? Just a note that tonight, Friday at 6 p.m., Kentucky is going to be playing Purdue in a scrimmage. That is, I mean, if that were a regular season non-conference matchup, that would be an absolutely insane game. Must-see television. So check out the scrimmage if you want. It's on SEC Network. It should be interesting to see Kentucky match up against a legit top 5, top 10 team, get a sense of sort of what Kentucky's looking like. I don't think they're going to, most teams aren't running everything in the scrimmages, but you get a chance to sort of look at how they match up. We'll also get a chance to see, I'm really interested for you college basketball nerds out there. I'm interested in the Big Ten. I got a buddy who is really, really big on Illinois, and so I'll be watching Purdue pretty closely, particularly Braden Smith. Across a lot of metrics, particularly Evan Mia has him as by far the best player in college basketball, and Braden Smith very good. I'm reluctant to say that he is the best player in college basketball, but maybe I'm wrong. So I'll be looking at that tonight. Should be interesting. If you want to scout the scrimmage, I encourage you to take a look at it. Again, it's 6 p.m. on the SEC Network. Another one tonight, just if you're really looking for something to get in on, BYU versus North Carolina in a scrimmage. That's at 9 p.m. on ESPN+. Potential to see two, hopefully, potential Georgetown opponents this year. Obviously, we will get UNC at Chapel Hill later this year, and then hopefully Georgetown gets BYU in the multi-team tournament. The sort of path there, obviously, as we've talked about, is beating Dayton and then BYU hopefully beating Miami, and you get a matchup against BYU, which is another highly, highly skilled roster. The projected number 1 pick in the draft the upcoming year, AJ DeBansta, who in his first scrimmage looked incredible. I think he put up 30 or something. He was nuts. He's really good. But BYU having probably their best team in a very long time should be interesting. So a good look at two, hopefully future Georgetown opponents tonight. If you're looking for something to do, there is some college basketball scrimmages to watch for you. A couple other random notes that I just saw kind of cruising around the interwebs. Notes from Justin Caldwell from Phenon Hoops. I'll link to that in the show notes as well. Talking about sort of his progression as he enters his final year of high school, and he looks big, frankly, and is talked about as playing up and more of a big. He was recruited initially listed as obviously a small forward. When he committed to Georgetown a couple weeks, maybe a month ago, kind of time is a flat circle, so I don't really remember when that was. But when he committed to Georgetown, he was listed as a small forward, kind of in that 3 range. But we said at the time, I think he has the potential to slot in as a power forward. He's got the size potentially to do that, needs to put on some weight and muscle. He looks like he's done that. And some of the notes from him really looking to play up as a big bruising guys, which is really, I think, a good indication, because I think my guess is that's where Georgetown would like him to be, particularly given the rest of the recruits that they remain on for the 2026 class, all of those really high level 5-star small forwards. I think if they had their way, they'd bring in one of those guys who really can score. And then you certainly have a little bit of room in the power forward rotation. Who knows what that looks like next year. But an interesting note on Justin Caldwell, that he's looking really good. He's looking really big, and he's looking like a power forward 3-4 type guy who can play up a position for sure. That's it for Finger Wag Fridays. As I said, hope to see you all out at the open practice tomorrow, the blue and gray scrimmage. We will hopefully see Langston Love there. As we mentioned, Langston Love did not play in the GW scrimmage, though was a full practice participant before that. It'll be interesting to see if he's out there for the scrimmage, the blue and gray scrimmage. Cooley didn't commit to him playing at the Kentucky scrimmage, but said he hoped for him to be ready. I would think it would be pretty good to get him a couple scrimmages under his belt, obviously coming off of a couple of injuries last year and then an injury earlier this summer. Really would be good to see him slot into this lineup a little bit. So that's one thing we'll be looking for at the scrimmage. And also just see how the team continues to progress. Should be a good time at McDonough. We hope to see you there. And if you are, say hello. Happy Finger Wag Fridays. And as always, Hoya Saxa.